Hello guys, welcome back to another episode here on Bitcoin. I want to talk about the shorter time frame right now and then what we can expect on the daily time frame. So we can start here to see how beautifully we rejected this median line here. This is a pitchfork that goes all the way down here to the start of this bull market that we've been talking about. So we can see how accurate these pitchforks are, how algorithms have kept dumping here ever since we hit the median. And we can see here how we got four daily candles with wicks above, very typical price action. We can see we failed to get any daily close whatsoever. I said if we get a daily close, then we can continue bullishly. But for right now, I'm sitting in a Bitcoin short here because I still do think we can see more downside. As I said, we have some kind of demand zones here. We can see a lot of price action has been going on between 59 and 60k. So I do believe somewhere here we can find some kind of support. We can also look here from the lows here, guys, that I used the 0.31 fib. So what I'm looking at here is 60,000, the next support for Bitcoin. Of course, we could also just go up from here, but I'm saying like if we continue down, I would look to go long or at least close my short at around 60,000 and then look for long opportunities. Because I still do believe that this range is due sooner or later. As I said, I do think September is going to be the month when we're going to challenge the highs here at 70,000. Because we still have higher targets of this pitchfork. We have the modified shift, which is at around 67,000. Then we have the original here, which I do think is very, very possible that we're gonna reach. But right now, as I said to you guys, that we have just to be patient. Right now, this market is not easy to trade, out of chopping here. My advice is to mainly just trade these bigger time frame median lines here. So either like short or long, or you can look for if we get something like this from the all-time highs to the lows, to the recent highs. You want to use the shift one here. If we get a move down to 56,000, that would be a very, very high probability setup to go long. For right now, I don't see this happening because I do think we have much more support here at 60,000. But if we get down here, then we can talk about going long. But that's not a prediction for now. I do think Bitcoin might do something like this, come down here to 60,000 range a bit, and then we'll get a push here to the modified shift, which is going to take us closer to the 70k here. And then we'll have to see what kind of rejection we're going to get here at 68,000. I think the Ethereum chart looks much more interesting right now, so we can flip here and check the Ethereum chart. The Ethereum chart has similar like Bitcoin, but we never came up to the median line here. As I've been saying, the Ethereum is much weaker than Bitcoin for the time being, and we still do expect for Ethereum to have its move to the upside, that since there's no real resistance here on the left side. So right now Ethereum is below the 0.5 line here, which I don't really love to see. Something else I also don't like here on the daily time frame, we have a lot of wicks here, which is causing a lot of longs to enter the market. So right under these wicks are usually a lot of stop losses or basically liquidations here that can happen. So when we see patterns like this, it's very common for price to come down here and take out these wicks. So right now I still do believe we can get a push to the upside, since if we take from the lows here to the highs, we're currently at the 0.31. If we check on the log scale, on the non-log, we have come quite through it, but on the log scale, we still have 7 hours left until the daily close. So we can easily get a daily close above 2,582. So, but if we get a daily close below, that's going to be a very, very bearish signal, and most likely we're going to continue down. Either way, even if we get a bounce, I'm not convinced that this is going to be the low. I still think that these wicks needs to get taken out on Ethereum. Just something to keep in mind. We can also, if we look at the previous high here as well on Ethereum, we can see of the 0.31 already has held 2 times as support. So when we see something like this and then we make another smaller high, it's very rarely that price will again go up, because at some point the market likes to correct more than 31% of this initial move. So that's basically what the fib is. It's telling us this 31% of the move from the lows here to the highs. So we already have a 31% move correction, and right now usually market likes them to have a deeper correction before we continue higher. These fibs are not holding forever. At some point market likes to break them, and then we can make another high, and then we can look for another pullback to the 0.31 once we get a proper high and we have made a deeper correction. So I hope you get the idea what I'm talking about here. Just something to be cautious of right now on Ethereum. I did open a small long, but I'm not very confident right now. I'm just waiting now for the daily close. I'll be very quick to exit if we close below. If we check from the highs here to the lows and then to the recent highs, We can also see if we check the shift pitchfork, we're already below the 0.5 line here on Ethereum. So I do think Ethereum can very easily go down here to 2,390. So I would like to see maybe something like this on Ethereum here. I would be very interested to open a big long. This is one of my favorite patterns to trade. So we basically have made a micro bottom, price makes an impulsive move, a corrective move to the downside, hit the median line, and then we'll get another impulse move to the next pitchfork, which is sitting at around 3,200. So this would be the ideal scenario. We might not come that low, but if we come this low, that's going to be very attractive to me to enter a big long here. So I do believe there's very little resistance here to the upside on Ethereum overall, and I do believe we're going to go higher. Then if we check the Bitcoin dominance chart, we can see here Bitcoin dominance is holding relatively strong here. Nothing much has changed. Still do believe that altcoins have lower to go, or Bitcoin have more higher to go than the altcoins. So we have to see here, once we reach the median line, then we can look into altcoins. But as I mentioned yesterday, we did look at Toncoin. You guys that know that I mentioned the Toncoin to trade here. So we can see here on the daily time frame, we came down here. Let me just remove all these. We came here on the daily time frame, hit the 0.31 once again. We can see how beautifully it acted as support for a second time, and it also correlates nicely with a pitchfork that we have here. So we can see here from the highs to the lows and to the recent highs. And then if we go on the original, so we can see here how we actually got a daily close below the median line. We tested it one time, got a bounce. Right now we're above the median line again. If we go on the weekly, we can see here how I would really like to see a weekly close. We still have, of course, 5 days left of the week, but if we get a weekly close above this median line, that's going to be very bullish in my opinion, and we're most likely then going to continue higher here, because I still have higher targets at around 12 is my, I'm not going to say final, we might go even higher, but that's going to be one macro target for Toncoin. I still do believe that this coin has potential to go, but of course, with the CEO of Telegram being arrested and everything, this can be very quickly manipulated by news. So we have to be careful with this trade. If we get any move down below this median line here, then we can might see lower or just get a big wick. So something to be careful of, but I really like the technicals. That's why I thought it was worth to enter along. And then of course I'm sitting in the Bitcoin short here, which is a nice little hedge. So that's all for today. We can lastly check the dollar. We want to see the dollar to move lower. So if we check the dollar index here, dollar index continues to move lower here. If we go on the original, which is very bullish overall. So once we get below the 0.5 line here, I do think very quickly the dollar is going to go lower to 98, which is overall bullish for the entire crypto market. Otherwise, I thanks so much for watching. I'll update you again, guys, tomorrow. Closely, I'm watching the Ethereum chart. I think that's the most important chart to look at right now. Otherwise, please like the video if you enjoyed the daily updates, and see you again tomorrow.